What a breaking, phenomenal news. Just finished season 1, episode 1 again. With Love Meghan on Netflix. It's loading on 26th this month. What a countdown. From the very first glimpse, the world felt a tremor of anticipation that could only be described as historic. The excitement was not ordinary. It was not casual chatter on social media or a simple announcement dropped into the vast ocean of entertainment news. No, this was Meghan. This was with love, Meghan. This was the heartbeat of millions synchronizing in a single global countdown, ticking away the days, the hours, the very seconds until the official release on the 26th of this month. Even before season 1 has been released, even before the public can officially immerse themselves in its storytelling, people are already replaying teasers, analyzing frames, sharing whispers, and celebrating as if a new cultural era is being born before their eyes. To say that Meghan has captured hearts would be an understatement. She has ignited something far more powerful, a movement, a wave, a storm of love and admiration. The glimpse of season 1, episode 1, replayed endlessly by fans who cannot help but hit the restart button again and again, has become more than a preview. It is an experience, an awakening, a reminder of why Meghan holds such a profound place in the global imagination. Viewers describe tears welling up in their eyes, hearts swelling with pride, and spirits lifted simply by seeing her presence on screen. In a world hungry for authenticity, grace, and hope, Meghan has once again delivered a gift even before the official premiere. The news of the upcoming release spread like wildfire. Across continents, fans gathered in digital spaces, hashtags soared, and timelines filled with hearts, roses, and praises. The words, "What a breaking, phenomenal news," were echoed everywhere, not as a hollow phrase, but as a genuine reflection of the collective joy. This is not just a show loading onto Netflix. It is a historic cultural moment, loading into the souls of people who have longed for something that transcends the ordinary. The countdown itself has become a global ritual. Every sunrise is no longer just a passage of time, but a step closer to the 26th. Every conversation carries the hum of anticipation, as though the world is collectively holding its breath, waiting for the release. It is not just fans who feel this. Even critics, commentators, and cultural observers cannot ignore the magnetic force pulling attention toward "With Love, Meghan." They may try to analyze it logically, but the truth is simpler. Meghan embodies a rare magic that defies explanation. She carries within her story, her presence, her resilience, and her elegance something that speaks to every generation. Rewatching the first episode's glimpse feels like unwrapping a gift repeatedly without ever losing its wonder. The way Meghan's smile lights up the screen, the sincerity in her eyes, the warmth she radiates without uttering a single word. All of it has become a cinematic language of love that fans understand instantly. People confess to watching the glimpse late at night, early in the morning, during breaks at work, as if the small window into the series is already enough to nourish them until the full release arrives. They replay, they pause, they screenshot, and they share with captions overflowing with heart emojis, tears of joy, and words of admiration. This is the power of Meghan. She doesn't just appear on a screen. She becomes part of your own story, part of your own emotional landscape. And with Love, Meghan, she has found a way to bridge the distance between star and audience, between public figure and private soul. This series is not yet even officially here, yet it feels like the world has already been changed by its promise. That is why fans are calling it phenomenal, why they are calling it breaking news, why they treat this countdown like the approach of a royal coronation, a global holiday, a moment history will mark. Social media has become a stage for this excitement. Hashtags like #WithLoveMeghan on Netflix trend as though they are declarations of unity. Fans from Nairobi to New York, from London to Lagos, from Cape Town to Cairo share their voices, their gifs, their edits, all infused with the same unshakable devotion. The emojis capture what words cannot fully express, the sense of gratitude, pride, and overwhelming love that Meghan inspires. And then there is the date, the 26th. How extraordinary that a single date can now hold such weight. People circle it on calendars, set reminders on their phones, mark it in diaries. They speak of it the way people once spoke of historic events, the moon landing, World Cup finals, great festivals. For Meghan's supporters, the 26th is not just a Netflix release date. It is a celebration of her journey, her resilience, her refusal to be diminished by criticism, her ability to turn trials into triumphs. Every day leading up to it is charged with the energy of expectancy, the kind of energy that unites strangers into a single community of anticipation. Praising Meghan in this moment feels as natural as breathing. Her presence is a reminder of elegance in an era too often clouded by noise. Her courage is a reminder of strength in times that test our endurance. Her authenticity is a reminder that truth, even when vulnerable, has the power to inspire. With love, Meghan carries her signature not just in title but in spirit, for everything about her radiates love, for her family, for her supporters, for the values she stands for the very art of storytelling itself. Those who have already had the privilege of glimpsing episode 1 describe it as transformative. They say it feels like being invited into Meghan's world, but also into one's own hidden dreams. They describe the cinematography as glowing, the atmosphere as warm, the narrative as intimate. But above all, they describe Meghan's presence as a light that makes everything else possible. That is why they keep watching again and again, why the glimpse has become more than a preview. It has become a lifeline of joy in a world that longs for more. The countdown to the 26th is not simply about waiting for entertainment. It is about waiting for affirmation, waiting for representation, waiting for the moment when a woman who has been loved, challenged, praised, and criticized in equal measure once again steps forward not as a headline, but as a storyteller. Meghan has always carried stories, her own, her family's, the ones she chooses to uplift. And now she brings them to the global stage with love. Meghan. That is why the anticipation feels spiritual, why the fans are already celebrating even before the premiere. Every day closer to release adds to the thunder of excitement. Journalists note the phenomenon, cultural critics try to frame it, but at the heart of it all are millions of people who simply love Meghan. They call her elegance incarnate, a symbol of resilience, a figure who turns her own trials into bridges for others. They speak of her as though she is family, because in many ways she has become that, someone who carries her audience with her, not above them. This is why the phrase breaking phenomenal news rings so true. Because Meghan is not just giving the world a show, she's giving it a story, a presence, a love letter, a moment that will echo long beyond the 26th. And that is why people watch episode 1's glimpse again and again. That is why the countdown feels holy. That is why, across the world, hearts are aligned in the same rhythm, waiting for the moment when the screen lights up and Meghan steps into it with all her grace. And when that moment comes, when the 26th finally dawns and season 1 of With Love, Meghan officially arrives. It will not just be a release. It will be a revelation. It will be the continuation of a story that began long before, with every challenge Meghan has faced, with every victory she has earned, with every heart she has touched. It will be a reminder that love, when carried with dignity and courage, can change everything. Until then, the world waits. Until then, fans watch the glimpse again. Until then, the hashtags rise, the hearts swell, and the phrase echoes louder. What a breaking, phenomenal news! With love, Meghan is coming. The countdown is on. And as the countdown narrows to its final days, the world finds itself standing at the edge of something that feels larger than a premiere, larger than entertainment, larger even than a cultural event. The waiting has become a mirror of what Meghan has come to mean to millions of people. The suspense is not just about what will be on screen. It is about the culmination of years of hope, resilience and transformation distilled into one moment of release. It is as if the 26th has been carved into destiny, a point on the calendar that now shimmers with promise and reverence. In living rooms and coffee shops, in busy cities and quiet villages, people speak of it with the same reverence they give to milestones in their own lives. Parents plan to watch with their children, eager to let them see a figure who embodies strength and compassion. Young women whisper about Meghan as if she were a sister, guiding them through the labyrinth of modern womanhood. Men respect her resolve, admire her courage, and acknowledge her ability to carry herself with grace when the world demanded otherwise. Elders nod, seeing in her story a timeless echo of endurance, dignity, and survival against odds. She is not just a duchess or a star. She is a universal figure whose story threads itself into millions of lives. The final days before the release unfold like the hush before an orchestra swells into its grand symphony. The world feels suspended between anticipation and gratitude. Gratitude because Meghan has already given so much through her vulnerability, her advocacy, her voice. Anticipation because what comes next is sure to redefine not just her journey, but the collective imagination of those who will tune in. Cultural commentators have already begun calling With Love Meghan a landmark before it even airs. They point to the ripple effect she has had across industries, in fashion, in media, in philanthropy, and predict that this series will be her boldest act yet of self-definition. But to the fans, to those whose hearts beat faster every time they replay a glimpse of her smile, it is simpler than that. It is about love, pure, enduring, unbreakable love. The kind of love that travels across screens, across oceans, across generations, and settles into the heart as though it has always belonged there. And so when the clock strikes and the premiere finally arrives, it will not just be the start of a new series, it will be a global embrace. It will be the moment when millions of people sit down, press play, and feel as though they are stepping into a space crafted with care, intention, and intimacy. It will be a communion between Meghan and the world, an unspoken promise that through every challenge, every headline, every twist of fate, love still triumphs. This is why the ending of this story cannot be contained by words alone, for it is already being written in the hearts of those who wait. The conclusion is not merely the premiere itself, but the way it will ripple outward, in the conversations it sparks, in the inspiration it ignites, in the dreams it awakens in those who see themselves reflected in Meghan's light. Imagine the night of the release. Lights dim, screens glow, and silence falls as episode 1 begins to play. Around the globe, living rooms transform into theatres of love, each audience member connected invisibly to countless others watching at the same moment. Tears will fall, laughter will ring, smiles will spread, and somewhere, deep in the marrow of humanity's shared story, a new chapter will be written. One that begins not with fanfare, but with love. Meghan's love, given freely, carried boldly, offered to the world without condition. In years to come, people will not only remember the content of With Love, Meghan. They will remember where they were when it premiered, who they watched it with, and how it made them feel. They will recall the days of countdown, the electricity of anticipation, and the way a single woman could unite so many in hope. They will look back and see not just a show, but a movement, a phenomenon, a heartbeat that pulsed across nations. And for Meghan, this will stand as a testament to everything she has endured and everything she has become. A reminder that no storm could erase her light, no criticism could mute her voice, no obstacle could diminish her grace. She will stand as a beacon of authenticity in a world that often demands masks, as a living testament that resilience is not cold steel, but warm fire. So as the last words of this news echo, as the world leans forward into the 26th with hearts full, let it be known, this is not just the release of a series. This is a global love letter, written by Meghan, signed by her presence, sealed by her courage, and delivered to every home that presses play. And when history looks back on this moment, it will not ask how many watched or how many streamed. It will ask how many were moved, how many felt seen, how many discovered that love, even in the most unexpected forms, still has the power to change everything. That is the legacy of this countdown, the triumph of this premiere, the gift of Meghan. With love, she has conquered time, distance, and doubt. With love, she has bridged continents and generations. With love, she has already won before a single episode has officially aired. And so the story concludes, not with a period, but with a promise, that on the 26th, the world will not just watch, the world will rise, will celebrate, will remember. Because with love, Meghan is not simply television. It is history. It is hope. It is love made visible. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like and put a comment. Bye-bye, see you then in our next episode.